Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the Pennsylvania primary, along with several other high-profile primaries, are going to be happening this Tuesday. I will be live streaming the results as they come in. But Donald Trump finally endorsed a candidate for the Pennsylvania governor's race, and a lot of people expected that he was going to go with Lou Barletta. A lot of people have been saying, Doug Mastriano, he's not electable, which, again, we're going to get to that argument in a little bit because it's not entirely accurate. But he actually went for Doug Mastriano, of all people, who is now the front runner in this race. A lot of the recent polling has had him over Lou Barletta by around 10 percentage points. And like I said, I think Barletta is a little bit more of a proven product, but I like a lot of Mastriano's energy. I like his grassroots support. I like the fact that he calls himself a Christian nationalist. And all throughout, he is a fairly solid candidate for governor. There was a couple of votes in the state Senate that he had regarding the mail-in legislation that were controversial, but he has explained himself since then and has been a very big fighter for election integrity as of recent. And Donald Trump acknowledged that, and he did endorse him. And the Electabro, the basement caucus, whatever you want to call these people, election mafia, right-wing election mafia, the neocon mafia, these people had a total and complete meltdown because of this, and it was insane. I mean, all these people are saying we're going to lose Pennsylvania. You have people saying that Trump is a disgrace to conservatism because he endorses candidates that are actually fairly conservative and not these neocons who they falsely believe would be more likely to win an election than a grassroots candidate in 52% blue-collar white Pennsylvania. 52%, that's a majority of the state, and especially in this year, in this electorate, because the right is energized, the Trump base is energized, you're looking at close to 60% of the electorate being not just white, but working-class whites that overwhelmingly vote for Republican, and Republicans are increasing their numbers with them thanks to Donald Trump, thanks to his support for restricting immigration, supporting American exceptionalism, bringing back the American dream, and obviously on trade, but also because of Trump's personality. They're attracted to the grassroots style of candidate. Like, if you go up to your average MAGA boomer and you ask them who they see as like their second favorite politician, I mean, some might say Ron DeSantis, this is true, but you'll hear a lot of names like in terms of their favorite congressman. It's not going to be these like, I guess you would say like policy wonk type of individuals who are just vaguely center-right that some people say have a future in the party among the donor class. They're going to say people like Gosar, people like MTG, the actual fighters, because they represent their best interests more so than the corporate elite class. And they know that. They understand that. And Mastriano represents this as well. I mean, Barletta is a good candidate too, but Trump endorsing Mastriano going up against Josh Shapiro is a dream come true, you could argue, for a state like Pennsylvania, because you have a grassroots candidate who is intelligent, by the way. He's written books, he's an author, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And beyond this point, he's racking up a lot of support in the grassroots of the party, and he's likely to win the primary. And again, he is somebody who can run that grassroots blue-collar campaign for Pennsylvania against an elitist attorney general neoliberal named Josh Shapiro, whose electability is extremely overrated by the online left and by a lot of people, a lot of weak losers on the online right. So this is important. Trump goes on to say that he revealed corruption and will do something about it. He will fight crime, strengthen our borders, protect life, defend the Second Amendment. Just kind of like, I guess, the run-of-the-mill Trump endorsement usually does this copy-paste thing. But then he says he is a fighter like few others, and that part's not copy-paste, and has been with me right from the beginning. Now I have an obligation to be with him. And then he goes on to say Mastriano and Dr. Oz will make an unbeatable team going into the most important midterm election in the history of our country. The only problem is that Dr. Oz is not endorsed by Doug Mastriano. Mastriano is a very big supporter of Kathy Barnett for Senate, who is surging and is basically in a virtual tie in a lot of these polls, and very may well end up beating out Dr. Oz. And Mastriano and Barnett, in a lot of the grassroots circles, are being viewed as a package deal. And Trump endorsing Mastriano unironically, or ironically, depends on how you want to look at it, is going to go out there and hurt Dr. Oz and help Kathy Barnett, who is the best of the three in that race, in my opinion. We'll talk about this more in the next video, but the best of the three candidates in the race. And it's not even close, and there are some questions in her past too, but it just shows how bad Oz and how bad McCormick truly are, because they're both just downright awful. But beyond that point, it's very interesting. So these people are melting down over this, and they just don't understand what the Trump revolution was about. They don't get it. It wasn't about a tax cut. And you could even argue that it wasn't just about trade. It was also about Trump and the grassroots energy that he brought to the table. The people on the online right in these Twitter circles, and these are the same people that are in the GOP by and large, they do not view the Trump revolution correctly. They don't understand what it was really about. And they push the same neocon talking points time and time again and do it in what I like to call MAGA face. It's not like blackface, but it's MAGA face. You put a MAGA hat on a neocon, guess what? He's still a neocon, right? We understand how that works, and we have to build off of Trumpism. But Trump was just a real human being. He would go out there, he said whatever was on his mind, and that's what won over the hearts of middle America. It wasn't just, oh, he was good on trade. He was good on trade. Don't get me wrong, and that did help him. But also, it just really speaks volumes that he was just in touch with the average voter more so than not. And that's the thing. And when it comes down to other controversial things he said, it helped him. I loved every bit of it. People said, oh, this is going to hurt Trump in the primary, and it never did. Whether it was the John McCain thing or what he said about Ted Cruz's dad, like, this stuff resonated with people. This stuff helped him win just as much as all of his great policy. And that energy, it doesn't have to be the same exact, personality. Everybody's going to be different, but you have to have that fighting spirit. You have to have that energy. We don't want these robots up here. Like, my one criticism of people that are pushing Ron DeSantis forward for 2024, they want to get rid of Trump, is kind of can come off as a robot. Mitt Romney came off as a robot. That's arguably what really doomed him in middle America, more so than his textbook policy, one could say, because he's just an elitist. He's out of touch with the average voter. We need people that understand the average voter and people that the average voter can sympathize with, especially in a state like Pennsylvania. You have people acting like Pennsylvania is Virginia, and that Doug Mastriano, because he talks about election integrity, like everybody should, is going to be some form of like a Roy Moore type of individual. Like, the PSYOP is so real, it's insane. They don't understand this. This state, look at the state in 2008, 2012, and look at it in 2016. Even look at the state in 2004 and compare it to 2016. 2004, Bush won the popular vote by 2.5 points. Trump lost it by over 2 points. Trump took the state of Pennsylvania. And in an environment where the New York governor's race, which the Republicans are likely to nominate a Trump-supporting candidate, not like this never-Trumper, not like a Charlie Baker. They're going to nominate somebody that's more similar to like a Youngkin, and he might actually have a chance at getting it within 10 because of Hochul's unpopularity and because of other factors. These same people that acknowledge that are the same people that are saying that Mastriano is going to lose. They're the same people that say Mastriano is too controversial for Pennsylvania, which even so, he's less controversial than Trump, one could say. And for the last time, we understand how overrated Josh Shapiro is. So I'm sick and tired of this electability lie. Josh Shapiro barely won in 2016. He was the candidate that received all the funding. He ran up against a no-name person. And then when he was the incumbent, he had the same thing happen, and he outperformed Biden by like 1% or so at most. Like, it is true that the Republican candidate did underperform. There was, a lot of third-party voter, whatever, but still, he only won by 4 in 2020. And the other candidate had no endorsements. The other candidate had zero funding. But still, Shapiro, the electoral juggernaut, couldn't even, crack 52% against this woman. So it kind of just shows how overrated he truly is. But the main point to make here is that the establishment is working overtime to psyop you. They are working overtime to make sure that you're afraid to nominate certain candidates because they're just too real, because they would lose, because they just get it too much, and the establishment doesn't like that. And that is the problem. We need actual fighters, people that are going to fight hard for the people of Pennsylvania, and that's what Pennsylvanians want too. And somebody like Doug Mastriano, he fits that bill. People are going to say, well, Pat Toomey was the last senator. And this is another argument you'll see people make. Well, Toomey won the state because I say Trump was the only GOP nominee since 1988 to win the state of Pennsylvania, which is very true. And then people are going to say, well, Toomey outperformed him. Well, why? Toomey was carried to the finish line because of Donald Trump. Oh, but he outperformed him. How could that be true? Well, it's because when you energize the low propensity voters across the state, for you, a lot of them are just going to vote straight ticket R. That's the way that it works. And that's why Toomey won. If Cruz or Rubio or whoever was the nominee, Pat Toomey would not have won. He might have done 1% better in like Chester County or something like that, but he probably wouldn't have won. I mean, Trump, he only outperformed Trump percentage-wise in terms of the final percentage of the vote by 0.6%. So that's really the point. And the other arguments against Mastriano, what are they going to say? They're going to say two things. One, Mastriano posted a QAnon meme in 2018, therefore he can't win, which is ridiculous because Trump used to retweet a lot of those memes too. And he obviously in 2024 would easily wipe the floor with Biden or whoever in Pennsylvania. And two, they're going to bring up 1-6 because he paid for some buses for people to go protest. Okay? There were 500,000 people there. Several people entered the Capitol building. Many were let in by feds. How exactly is that Doug Mastriano's fault or his problem? If these are the attack lines that Josh Shapiro throws at him, they're only going to strengthen Mastriano. Like what, calling somebody a conspiracy theorist is supposed to doom their campaign, especially in Pennsylvania of all places. Seriously, rural Pennsylvania. Have you been to Pennsylvania? Have you driven through the state? You will see a lot of Trump 2024 signs. The last time I was there, you saw them all over. Didn't see any for any other candidates. And people can say that, oh, that's just anecdotal evidence. And that is true, but at the same time, the grassroots energy there is very strong. And these attacks that people are going to be sitting here and throwing at Doug Mastriano are just going to bounce off because they're irrelevant. And Mastriano can focus on the real issues. And as a result, he's going to energize the base enough to win in a R+9 national environment, which is another thing. Do they seriously think, because let's take this into consideration, Pennsylvania is roughly an R+3 state compared to the national environment usually at this point, and it's trending to the right. So you take that. So you have to say that Mastriano is going to underperform the baseline expectation of him in an open governor's seat where he has the party fatigue advantage. He's going to underperform that baseline of R+12 by like 12 or 13 points, really, because he talks about an issue that Trump happens to talk about all the time, because he shares some of the same controversies that Donald Trump shares. Like, you have to be out of your mind to say this. But that's what they'll do. They'll sit back there and they'll psyop. And is it true he may only win by like 3 or 4? I mean, yeah, but that's not the point. Like, we understand Barletta might have been more electable. But that doesn't mean Mastriano is going to lose because he happened to post a meme on Facebook in 2018. It's ridiculous. You have people saying he's going to get crushed, he's going to lose by 10. And you have to laugh at these people at this point because I just feel bad for them. It's not even worth arguing most of the time, but it's just hilarious. It is what it is. But Trump endorsed Mastriano. Mastriano is going to be the next governor. The Senate primary is more of a toss-up, but if Mastriano carries Kathy Barnett to the finish line, that would be a brutal blow to the GOP establishment in the state of Pennsylvania. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. And buy the merch and join the website. The links are in the pinned comment. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.